and Navy, another very important mission. I know you have a lot of activity cooking over there. Give us an example of one program you'd like to highlight.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity. And I think Kirsten and I are leading kind of parallel lives in this regard, and Alan as well. But so we stood up our enterprise data analytics platform about 2 years ago. And so the thing that I'd like to highlight about that is the lessons that we've learned for using the platform, implementing the platform, and actually coming up with the data. So at this stage, we have 83 documented use cases of folks that are using the platform to make some sort of analytics that drives decision and drives operational advantage, right? The interesting part here, though, is my very limited staff up at the CDO's office in the Secretariat. We only directly support about 9 of those use cases, which is really powerful, right? So what that means is we've been able to essentially, I don't want to say democratize because I don't necessarily like that word when it comes to data, but we've been able to empower the workforce and give them the tools they need to do their job. And when we talk to the early adopters about the platform, the thing that they say that draws them into the platform is they're finally able to do what they need to do with tools that make sense in an environment that is controlled and safe to operate in. And so what that means is we've kind of lowered that barrier to data access, but we've also kind of stopped people from going off and finding creative ways to do what they needed to do that are maybe not so above board when it comes to cybersecurity and a variety of other things. So the big lesson learned here is now pivoting away from just purely providing access to data. And Kirsten said something about certified data sets. So we've really taken on this massive initiative around mastering our data. And so what we found through the process so far, and we've been doing it for a couple of months, is there's actually a relatively small number of master records that drive a tremendous amount of analytics. And so we've formalized the process now. So now that we have a formalized intake process, we know how many people are using the platform and for what needs. From that process, it tells us what data sets that they plan to use for their analytics, and things change obviously when you get into your analytics. So we've actually started a number of initiatives right now across a variety of different waterfronts to really get after creating what we're calling the gold data sets. And it was Howard, because we have Databricks inside our platform as well, and that's really one of the key components to our analytics, is rather than providing Databricks through the ETL process, whatever data comes in, right, we want to master that data and stick it in the Databricks so people have a common view of data. And so it supports really important things we have ongoing right now. Obviously, we have a COVID and kind of the vestiges of what we're trying to wrap up there. We have a very large destructive behaviors analysis that's going on right now for a variety of different reasons to pull out. And I think it was Howard mentioned earlier, actually, about the data being unstructured, right? And so a lot of our reporting that comes from the field comes in completely unstructured data. And so we have to pull out sentiments, we have to pull out entities, we have to pull out information from text. And that's not necessarily hard, but it's not easy either in some regard, right? It's time consuming. You got to train your algorithms. And so then combining that data with highly structured data we have coming, say, from our ERP systems, from some of our training systems, right? And so what we're seeing is those cross-entity joins is where that magic comes from analytics. And so I can't say that we have a single initiative necessarily, but it's that kind of epiphany that we had around the use of the data and structuring the data in a way that allows people to have more value from it.
And being done with a very small but powerful, we'll call it small and mighty. I'm going to call it the CDO SEAL Team 6.
That's right.
Group. It's incredible what you're doing there. We really do appreciate it.